Hello friends, our expected question topic discussion for the day is for GS paper 2, and the question here is: as a fast maturing democracy, is it time to implement a uniform civil code in India? Discuss in light of the recent Triple Talaq episode. Discuss the pros and cons of bringing up a uniform civil code in India. Okay, so this question, it is basically regarding the uniform civil code. We have already studied about uniform civil code. So the answer you have to structure first. So start with the introduction, then go into the body of the answer. In the introduction, just give a brief about uniform civil code is, write what uniform civil code basically is about, and then go to the body of the answer, discuss in depth about uniform civil code. What are the pros and cons of bringing up uniform civil code in India? Discuss especially with regarding to the triple talaq issue, which has been recently, it is a burning issue in India. So discuss about that, and at the end give your conclusion, give your own views and opinion about uniform civil code. So this is basically the structuring of the answer. This question may be asked for 150 words or for 250 words. So structure the answer accordingly. So you have to fill the content based on the number of words asked. Okay, fine. Now we are going to discuss the points for this answer. So I will be discussing the important points and various dimensions in which you have to analyze this question. So you can note these down, and based on this you can write your answer. Okay, first, in the introduction, just give a brief about uniform civil code. Mention what uniform civil code is. So uniform civil code basically comes under Directive Principles of State Policy, DPSP. It comes under Article 44. So DPSP is actually it is a guideline for social and economic welfare of the country. So this is a guideline for the government to ensure equality among all people, especially in the social and economic spheres. So out of this, uniform civil code is an important concept. And in India, we have two types of laws. One is the civil law, and the other is the criminal law. In India, we have a uniform criminal law for all citizens, irrespective of their religion. But for civil side, each religion has their own civil law in India. Civil law basically deals with issues such as marriage, divorce, land matters, inheritance, succession, etc. So these for these type of civil laws, each religious community, it has its own laws. For example, Muslims, they have their own Sharia law. Christians, they have their own laws. So based on the religion, each religion has its own civil law in India. So give an introduction like this, and then go into the body of the answer. So body of the answer, first we are going to discuss why we need a uniform civil code in India. So first write about that. So uniform civil code, as you have already seen, in the civil side there is no uniformity of laws in India. So what does this mean? India, as we know, is a secular country. Secularism is an important feature of our constitution. So for ensuring secularism, we must first give equality to all religions. There should not be any bias between religions. So for that, uniform civil code is needed. Some people may ask, India is a multi-religious country, we should respect all religions. India's secularism is positive secularism, so why not allow different civil laws for different religions? The thing here is, civil laws actually, they do not interfere within in the religious culture or the religious practice of any religion. Civil laws actually deal with the secular aspects of the citizens. Regardless of what religion they belong to, civil laws generally deal with secular aspects of various religious communities. For example, marriage. Marriage is a secular thing. It deals with the individual, the lives of individuals. Similarly, divorce, it is more related to human rights. Similarly, we have inheritance, succession, etc. So all these are all secular aspects. So all these are all secular matters. So it would be better if we have a uniform civil code in India. Let's take the Islamic religion for example. Islamic religion, for example, they have their own Sharia law. And this triple talaq issue has been discussed in the recent past, as we all know. So this triple talaq, it is actually a practice which is practiced by Muslim men. So which states that men can divorce women in an arbitrary manner by uttering that triple talaq. So this has been seen as a suppression of women. Here the thing is, we are only seeing about the secular aspect. The secular aspect here is oppression of women, equality for women. So here, with regard to triple talaq, what happens here is women, they are being discriminated. They are losing their rights. They are not treated as equal to men. So this triple talaq, this tool of triple talaq, it is actually biased against women. So the Supreme Court itself has recently held that triple talaq is unconstitutional. And as a result, the Indian Parliament, it has brought a bill. So under this bill, it is going to make triple talaq a offence. And if any Muslim man, if he uses this triple talaq, he can be sentenced to jail for 3 years. So this is basically the issue surrounding triple talaq. So triple talaq, it is not related to religion at all. So there is no religious practice. There is no tinkering of any Islamic culture or Islamic religious practice. The thing here is equal respect for women, equal rights for women, and this is basically human rights related. So for this, bringing of a uniform civil code throughout India will solve these kind of problems. Uniform civil code not only concerns the Islamic community. Actually, if you look at the media, the issue discussed is mostly with regard to the Muslim community. But uniform civil code, it is actually concerned with other religions also. For example, we have the Christian Marriage Act. Under the Christian Marriage Act, there are certain provisions that are discriminatory, especially under the divorce procedure. Similarly, under the Hindu civil laws, there are certain discriminatory procedure, especially with regard to inheritance and succession. Certain laws or certain clause, they are biased against women. So these kind of things, these kind of civil laws have to be synchronized. They have to be made uniform in India. So bringing up a uniform civil code for all religious communities in India will pave the way for a unified civil law system in India. So you have to discuss all these points under the body of the answer. And under the body of the answer, you have to mention about the cons also, that is the negatives also of a uniform civil code. Under the cons, what we have to mention is, if you are going to bring in the uniform civil code, okay, that is good for India, but we have to ensure that we get the consent of the minority communities like Islamic community and Christian community, Parsi community, Jain community, Sikh community, etc. Because India, as we all know, is a multi-religious country. Since independence, the minority they have not blended well with the nation. It doesn't mean that they are anti-national. It means that they have not socially, economically, politically, they have not attained the status of equality. For example, if you take the Muslim community, they are economically, educationally and socially, they are backward. Certain reports like the Ranganath Mishra report and Sachar committee report, it has concluded that Muslims are backward as much as Dalits. So objectively, Muslim community especially, it is facing the problem of backwardness in India. So such a minority community, instead of first bringing them up the social and economical ladder, if we just thrust a uniform civil code, that will cause only resentment among the minority community. That will cause a sort of suspicion among the minority community. So generally, this may not be a healthy thing at this point in time. So we can bring a uniform civil code, but it would be better if we do that with the consent of the minority community. And along with that, we have to ensure that first they are brought up, first they are developed socially and economically. So you can discuss all these points in the body of the answer. And at the end, you can give your conclusion. Like we have discussed, you can say that uniform civil code is good, but it has to be brought in a phased manner. You can say that we have to discuss with the minority community themselves. We have to do that with the consent of the people. Such a implementation would be better for India.